Guys, so right now we will work with some materials which will help you to improve your level of English. There is no money in it. Claudia, Munich, Germany. I graduated in Munich 2 years ago with a degree in media studies. After that, I applied for lots of jobs in film and television. I know it's a competitive area, but I didn't get any interviews, not one. Everyone wanted me to have work experience. But how can you get work experience if nobody gives you a job? In the end, I took unpaid work with a public relations company. To begin with, I hated it. It only did boring jobs like making coffee for people and photocopying, but recently I've started doing more interesting things. At the moment, I'm organizing the European distribution of a new German film. I'm not happy about working for no money, and sometimes I think the company is exploiting me, so I'm looking for other work. I can't live without pay for another year. I worked as a doctor in a small town in Switzerland for almost 30 years, and I retired 5 years ago. To begin with, I enjoyed it, but I soon got bored. Then I saw an advertisement for a voluntary service overseas and applied. They offered me a job working in Sierra Leone, and I moved here 9 months ago. They paid for my flight and they pay my rent, but basically I'm working for nothing. I'm not complaining though. It's amazing. I'm having the best time of my life. Life can be very hard for people here, but everyone has a really positive attitude. Now I'm doing some training with local doctors and advising them on how to improve services. My contract ends in 3 months, but I'm planning to stay here for another year, if I can. Sulachana, Kerala, India. I'm a housewife, but I'm also working for an organization that's fighting for women's rights. I don't get paid, but I don't mind because we're hoping to make our government pay housewives like me a fixed salary and a pension for the work we do in the home. Venezuela did something similar a few years ago. Women play an important role in building the nation. Without mothers and wives at home, men need to do more work, and this takes more energy. But men don't understand this, and that's why we're organizing ourselves. We're planning to start a website to tell more people about our situation, and we're also thinking of stopping work and going on strike. Let's see how men survive on their own then. Mango, avocado, scallops, kiwi fruit. Courgette, squid, aubergine, oyster. Breakfast around the world. They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Maybe that's why many people may be open to trying foreign food at lunch or dinner, but they're not adventurous enough to experiment with anything new at breakfast. But what about you? Below, we'll look at typical breakfast in 5 different countries. Would you have them, or are they too spicy, too fattening, or just too different? South Korea. The traditional breakfast is rice and soup. People then choose extra dishes to go with it, such as grilled fish, vegetables, and kimchi, which is pickled cabbage with chilies. Kimchi is so popular that the first Korean astronaut took some with him to the International Space Station. Of course, these days many Koreans have such busy lifestyles they don't have enough time to make breakfast and just grab a quick coffee and some cereal or toast. Bulgaria. Breakfast in Bulgaria includes tea or strong coffee, sesame bread and butter, cheese made from sheep's milk, honey, olives, boiled eggs, and most importantly, kiselo mleko, a local yogurt. Bulgaria has a lot of people aged over 100, and many believe that the secret behind this is their yogurt, which most Bulgarians eat every day. My new home. I'm from Harbin, in the northeast of China, but I moved to Wales last year to do a master's degree. It's the first time I've lived away from home, so I miss my family, but most of the time I love it. I'm living in the university halls of residence. I have my own room with a sink to wash in, but I have to share the bathroom. That's not great. Sometimes you have to wait or people leave it dirty. I also share the kitchen, but that's okay because it's a good place to meet the other students and talk. I've taught some of my flatmates to cook some Chinese dishes. Some of them didn't know to cook eggs, didn't know how to cook eggs, so it really helped to make friends. I think I'm more confident now, maybe because I have to do things for myself and I find I can do them well. Well, I can do them okay, and I love the freedom to do what I want. I can come home late and I don't have to answer questions about where I've been. I work for a big Japanese car company. It's a secure job and the money is good, but because I'm a junior member of staff, I have to work in different places overseas every couple of years. Sometimes junior staff don't want to go, but they can't say no because refusing can affect their future career. However, I always think that's a great opportunity and I learn about other cultures. Anyway, I'm currently based in Taliati in Russia, about 500 miles southeast of Moscow. It's very different to my hometown, Fukuoka. It's colder, of course, and the food is very different too, but I have a nice apartment on the top floor of a big block. The hardest thing for me this time is that my wife and two children are still in Japan. I can visit 3 times a year and we keep in touch online, but I get very lonely sometimes and I miss my kids terribly. On the positive side, though, I'm getting more experience and learning a lot, and that's very useful to get a senior job in the company. Cheating their way to the top. Cheating in schools and universities has become very widespread. For instance, a couple of years ago, Harvard University, often thought to be the best in the world, had to ask over 50 students to leave after they cheated in their final exams. Sadly, this is just part of a much bigger problem. In a recent survey, the majority of the students questioned said they sometimes cheated, and contrary to expectations, it's not only weaker students who cheat, but also the strongest and best. Many students don't just copy from the internet, they also buy essays from online firms that write to order. Of course, while the desire to get an advantage by cheating is nothing new, modern technology is constantly coming up with clever ways of breaking the rules. There are websites with whole sections selling high-tech exam equipment. Why is this happening now? What's causing the huge growth in cheating? Well, there are 5 main reasons. Parents and schools often push kids to get the best test scores. Kids then start to feel scared that if they don't do well, they won't get good jobs. And bad economic situations also make people feel less secure. On top of all that, kids are growing up in a world where great emphasis is placed on money and winning. Schools in many different contexts need to show that their students are doing well if they want more money from the government. A school with poor test scores starts to fail. It gets less money and has fewer resources, so smart students go elsewhere and teachers may well lose motivation. As a result, more and more importance is placed on doing well in tests. Students soon realize this, and some then decide to cheat. Technology can make people impatient. Kids grow up expecting to get what they want when they want it. As a result, kids have less patience and less desire to work hard. Cheating seems to offer a way to get what you want without waiting or effort. Of course, people are tempted. All too often, cheats win. Partly this is because kids today are better at cheating and are sometimes one step ahead of teachers. Partly it's because it's simply too much trouble to check and challenge every person that cheats. Kids see some of their classmates cheating and succeeding and decide to try it themselves. Kids see stories in the news about famous sports stars who have used drugs to improve their performance, business people who have lied to make bigger profits, people who have got jobs using CVs that were not completely true, and politicians who have lied about their expenses. Is it any surprise that some kids decide to copy them? Okay, that's it for now. Subscribe to my channel and press a like button.